Hi, I'm Tinny from Mini Bowl Design, and it's Sunday afternoon. Took the day off. Pretty well got inventory pumped up to an acceptable level. Had some problems, but got all those worked out. I've caught up on Friday. Orders up to Friday. I've got more orders on the books for tomorrow morning. But I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning, so probably, I don't know whether I'll have time to get this stuff shipped or not. So tomorrow may be a no-ship day. Not sure on that. Anyway, just been sitting around thinking about things, and in October I'm going to retire. Doesn't mean I'm going to close the business or anything, but I'm going to officially retire in October. So there's a lot of things that I want to change. And I've just been kicking stuff around. Nothing's carved in granite. It's all written in crayon right now. But I'm going to get rid of my landline, my wall phone. Yeah, and believe it or not, I have a wall phone that rings and you go over and pick up the cord with the hello, telemarketers left and right. I'm going to get rid of that. I think I'm going to take it out in the dooryard and set it on fire. My telephone company, TDS, which stands for Too Damn Slow, I'm going to take their router box and I think I'm going to put a stick of dynamite underneath that, get rid of that. I have to boot that thing like 3 times every day because I lose my internet signal. I see the internet is going to wireless satellite type technology. And I think that's where it's all eventually going to go. All these copper wires in the ground and stuff. I'm pretty sure that's all going to go away. And it's, from what I can see, it's going to go like satellite TV. Elon Musk is launching 4,000 softball-sized satellites. And when this all gets done, we're supposed to have, like terabytes of bandwidth and everything's supposed to change, which I think it will. But anyway, I'm going to, I think, get rid of all that stuff by cell phone. Just Apple iPhone 7 probably, something like that. And probably give it to Beth and take her 6. But anyway, and my internet service, I think I'm going to find a wireless internet service I can go with right now. With Dish Network, they offer internet. Requires another dish and another receiver and all that, but they do offer internet, and I've got Usenet, and there's another place that's a small outfit that sounds pretty promising that one of my friends uses, and I may go with one of those 3 and completely get rid of the copper wire under the ground thing. So every time my neighbor gets on his backhoe and decides to reset the post in his on his mailbox, I don't lose my internet for 2 weeks. Because the cable runs right in the ditch of the road, and it's only down maybe that deep. In places you can see it where it runs over a culvert. All you got to do is cut one wire and you're done. So not real impressed about that. So I'm going to get rid of that. Another thing, and the original point of this video was, I'm thinking about getting rid of PayPal. That's a double-edged sword, but PayPal is becoming increasingly commercial. When I go to PayPal now, when I go to sign in, first thing comes up is a big ad. They want to give me a loan. And I get past that, and another ad comes up, and I get past that and sign in. And when I sign in, it comes up and says, nope, and I have to go back and start over again, and then another ad comes up, and then suddenly my PayPal account will come up mysteriously somewhere in there, if everything works out right. I have to retype in my password and username all over again. It doesn't hang on to it like it used to. But anyway, getting a little tired of PayPal. They took me in the shorts for about $1,700 here in the past year or so. Completely their fault. They just didn't look out for me. Didn't, just I gave them everything they needed, tracking numbers, signature confirmation and everything, and they just dropped the ball. $1,700. What the heck, right? Drop in the basket. And I've kind of held that against them ever since then. And since then, every now and then they've stabbed me a little bit with $20 here, $20 there, which there was no need of. They just are too busy to actually take care of business. So I have an inherent hatred for PayPal. Have had for quite a while now. And what I'm thinking of doing, instead of just sitting here babbling, is I'm thinking about kicking this whole business up a notch when I retire. Because once I retire, I can do anything I want to with the business. I can just close it, or I can, because I'm no longer buying mac and cheese with it. It's actually becomes a toy, because once I retire, I will have enough income to live comfortably, and I can do anything I want to with the business. That's why I would dare to go to the wireless internet. And if it doesn't work out, it's not a big problem. It's a big problem for the business, but since the business is no longer top priority, if I was down for a week, it wouldn't be a problem, where it would be right now. What I'd like to do, and I need your feedback on this because it's just an idea that I pitched to my wife and daughter today, and I'm thinking about kicking it up a notch and going with a higher end line of products, fairly high end, really exotic, nice stuff, the expensive stuff you only can get from tinny type stuff, no more $5 soap. I mean, I'm talking going big time, real high end stuff, very unique, and only accepting payment by maybe a money order. So when I get your money order in the mail with your order, I send your order out. And with customers that I've done business with a lot, I would even probably, when they order, just send their order out knowing that they definitely are going to pay me. And they get their order and they send the check out, I get the check that way. And I have a lot of customers I can do that with. I have a lot of customers I can't do that with. But all the really important customers, well, you're all important. All the really big customers, the ones that order huge amounts of stuff, are all very trustworthy. I know that they're going to pay me. And I can say that with almost all of my customers, but as you know, not everybody. As I found out with PayPal. So anyway, I'm kind of kicking that around, getting away from PayPal, getting away from DSL and all the copper wire thing, going to wireless internet, just changing things around a little bit to make it more reliable and making it so there's less stuff hiding behind trees that I get caught on every now and then, like, stuff that just comes up and bites me that I can't see, it just happens. Making it more foolproof. Because right now, I'm kind of hanging out there. Every now and then I get bit. And it's something that there's nothing I could have seen. It just happens. And I don't like that. I make a fairly unique product, but if I could devote my time strictly to making unique product and inventing new stuff and improving stuff, and hell, I might even buy a CNC machine. I don't know, but I think the allure right now is that everything I make is handmade by me. There's no CNC work at all, and that's another thing I'd like to know about. If I started making stuff on a CNC, would that take the magic out of it? Or I probably wouldn't anyway. I think I'm too old for CNC. And from what I've seen of my competition, unless you buy a really top end, at least a jet CNC, these Chinese come in a box, put together thing, they just don't last. they get slop in them and they won't track and controllers burn out. And I've got Chinese milling machines, and I can tell you right now that they would never stand a CNC, and I explained it to you very quickly. You got a table and you've got the spindle. When you're running these things by hand, you're cranking a knob and the table's moving about this fast in one direction. Crank the other knob and the table moves in or out about this fast. You might make one cut like this, another cut like this, and whatever. Very slow. In a 10-minute period, the whole table, all movement added together, would be less than a foot probably. And same way with the up and down. With these CNCs, you watch them and they're cutting like circles and stuff and going up, and that table's going all the time. Well, these tables are just cast iron against cast iron. There's no bearings or anything. You squirt some oil in there as best you can, and you start doing this stuff all around, and you can wear one out in a weekend. Just not made for that. If they were all running on bearings and stuff, it would be different. And the zero backlash lead screws they put in them, they stay zero for about 20 hours of use, and then they start getting slop in them. And, you know, if you're doing stuff where you're making a cut and go back and make another cut, and the next cut's 20,000 different than the first one, they ain't the way to go. And that's what I've seen with Chinese stuff. So if I was going to go CNC, I'd have to go with something that's going to cost me a minimum of $25,000, and that's probably used, in order to turn out a continuously good product. Plus, I'd have to learn to use it. I'm not sure I'm that bright. But anyway, I think that's everything I want to say right now. I'll continue this later on. I've beat my gums long enough now. I'm Tinny from Mini Bull Design. Try to have a really great day, and try to have some fun today. You deserve it. Bye-bye.